Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurdini Farzana binti Jamrus. I will presenting my final assessment. I name this company is Delicious India Berhad. So the background of the company is Delicious India Berhad is a company which produce chocolate cookies which the ingredients are add on premium chocolate chips and almond. There are 15 pieces of cookies in one packaging. To make the cookies are more exclusive, the packaging of the cookies in custom-made transparent plastic box packaging and also have a ribbon on top of it. So the cookies can also be as a gift. However, the company do not produce the custom-made transparent plastic box and ribbon, but they are bought from other company in bulk. So the company has decided to run this business in run term business. So the cookies are selling online, which use online shopping platform like Shopee and Lazada, and also at the bakery itself. So the resources required for the production, the first one is natural resources. So only one type of natural resources are used to produce the cookies, which is land resources. These land resources not only focus on land only, but anything which come from the land are included like water and forest. So the water required to produce the cookies and to clean all the equipment and machine after use, while the land resources which the chocolate produced from the cocoa tree and flour from the grain. And for human resources, labor is needed in order to produce the cookies. The labor can be categorized into two, which are skilled labor and common labor. For the deliciously syndrome Berhad, the labor are required are 5 people to contribute their services in terms of physical and also intellectual for the cookies productions. So 3 of them are skill labor which expert in baking the cookies, and 2 balance of labor are for packaging the cookies. So for the manufacture resources which are capitals are things and equipment used to produce services and goods. For example, tools, machineries, and human buildings. In producing cookies, machinery used like mixer, cookies, molding machines, and ovens. For tools, measuring spoon, plate, and many more. So for the entrepreneurships, by combining all the resources such as like what I said just now, natural, human, and manufactured resources to earn profit by the person is called as an entrepreneur. So the innovation made by a person who develop new goods and services is the most successful entrepreneur. The invention of cookies made from premium almond and chocolate and exclusive packaging boxes will help in the growth of the business and give bigger profits. So the second question is on relationship between your factory and household on the demanding resources. Demanding for resources. So this is the flow diagram, the interaction between business and household through the market for resources. So starting from the top half of the flow diagram, which the product market represent box of cookies, shows the households spend their monies on the deliciousness and their Berhad for the exchange of the goods and services. The goods and services flows clockwise, while the money flows in anti-clockwise. In product markets, the household are usually the demanders, while the supplier are usually the firms. Or in here is deliciously Sundarai. So from the perspective of the households or consumers, the consumption spending which the money flows from the household consumer to the deliciously Sundarai. So the sales gained by the firm is the flows of products from the firms from the deliciously Sundarai to the household which purchase of the cookies. Alright. So the bottom half of the flow diagram represents the resources market, which shows in exchange for economic resources, the firms spend their money or the insurance right, will spend their money on the household used as a factor of productions. For example, if Delicious Sdn Bhd have people working for a business firm, so they supply a labor as a factor of productions. So it is illustrated by the clockwise flow of economics resources, and the flow of money is anti-clockwise. The clockwise for the flow economics. Okay. The market resources, the demander usually are the business firm, while the household usually the suppliers. So from the perspective of the households or the consumers, the expenditure is the money flows from the business firms to the household, while from the household perspective, where the income from the perspective of the household expenditure are the capital, natural resources, and labor, which flow from the household to the business firm. And the last one is from the business perspective are the inputs. The inputs are called factors of production, also called as a factor of production, because the business firm use them to produce goods and services. Um, the third question is on the type of market structure which your organization attached to. So the type of market structure is monopolistic competition. This is because the organization fulfills all the characteristics of monopolistic market structure. The monopolistic competition is a common market structure and a type of imperfect competition in which there are many producers or firms that produce the products or goods that are different from one another, but it doesn't have perfect substitutes. So the substitute may be vary in terms of branding, location, or quality. So the first characteristic is large numbers of firms which produce the products. Okay, based on the company production, the cookies have been sold by a lot of company. However, the difference between the cookies may be based on the ingredient or the brandings. So the next characteristic are there are no barriers to entry into the business. So however, the entrepreneur has a significant role because the decision making will associate any risk to the business. This situation is also implemented in the Delicious Sdn Bhd, because there is a freedom for the company to sell the cookies, also to exit the cookies, to exit the business. The last one is product differentiations. There are four main types of product differentiation. The first one is physical products such as sizes, packaging, and shapes. Next is marketing differentiations. Every company has its own strategies like the technique of promotion or packaging. The third one is on the differentiation of human capital. For example, the skill, intelligence, and attitudes of the employees. The last one is on the distribution of product distribution. For example, the product can be sold through the shop itself or online platform. So the fourth question is on how the short run and long run average cost curve are derived. So the short run cost curve can be derived by cost of production tables. The first one is need to determine the cost of production tables. So here is the examples. And this is the example for a short run average cost curve. So this is long run average cost curve. The long run average cost curve is the curve which shows the minimum cost of productions of any products or inputs feasible when all the inputs are variable. The long run average cost curve is derived from the short run cost, where a tangent for all short cost curve is the long run average cost curve. So here is the same like previous one, but there is no curve for a short run curve. So at the economies of scale phase, the deficiency Sdn Bhd will enjoy advantage or benefit as it grow larger, while the diseconomy of scale phase, deficiency Sdn Bhd will face problem as grows larger. So here is the short run average cost. So this is the short run average cost, and this is long run average cost. So long run is the tangent. Next is the fifth question, how the price of the products is determined. So based on this table, the first one we need to derive the data for this table, such as quantity, price, total revenue, marginal revenue, total cost, average total cost, and marginal cost. Then we can construct this monopolistic competitive short run. So how to determine the price is that the intersection between the what is this marginal cost and marginal revenue, then we can see that at the demand the price is here and here, between here and here. So I assume the price which maximize the profit can begin from of a firm is RM24 ringgit, and the minimum profit is at here maybe 21 ringgit. So monopolistic competitive long run, how to get the price is the construct the graph, and then the intersection here and at the demand, so we can get the price between Q and S. So the price between Q and S is the profit can be get for a firm. So here is the price which maximize the profit is RMQ. And the last one is how the level of production is determined. So here is 40 boxes for short run, and P is for long run. So as we can see from this previous slide, so here we can see is 40 quantity is 40 here that we can get intersection, and for long run we can get P here, the intersection here. So that's all we can get the total of productions. And so here is the marginal. I will explain a little bit about marginal cost, average total cost, and marginal revenue. So marginal cost is a cost to produce one unit of goods. So how to get the value is the change in total quantity divided by the change in the total cost. So for the average total cost, the average cost per unit good, and the value is by dividing total cost divide by quantity products. So the last one is marginal revenue, is the additional of total revenue generated by one unit affect the increasing of product sales? It can be determined by dividing the change of total revenue divided by in change of total quantity. So that's all from me. Thank you.